Good morning. It is Friday. It is March 5th. And we're just going along. 2021 already into the third month, 5 days into it. And so we're just trucking right along and trying to continue getting everything done that needs done. And I'm excited to be here this morning with you. I really am. And just looking forward to a great Friday, a great weekend. I do want to make one quick correction from something I said yesterday and got called out on it, is that Donnie Wahlberg had nothing to do with Backstreet Boys. It was New Kids on the Block. So I apologize for those offended if you were. Somebody was, because they let me know. And then, we're going to get right along. So one of the chapters that I was reading a couple days ago is Psalm 55. And, it's not the devotion, this morning, and I did read that, but I just wanted to share most of this psalm with you. David here is talking about something specific that's going on in his life, but I think the major part of it we can really just resonate with sometimes, and maybe you're there today. I don't know, but I know sometimes I am, and I get there, and so I just want to make this, I just want to read this, and that's mainly what I'm going to do this morning. Psalm 55, David says this: "Give ear to my prayer, O God, and hide not yourself from my plea for mercy. Attend to me and answer me. I am restless in my complaint, and I moan, because of the noise of my enemy, because of the oppression of the wicked, for they drop trouble upon me, and in anger they bear a grudge against me. My heart is in anguish within me. The terrors of death have fallen upon me. Fear and trembling come upon me, and horror overwhelms me. And I say, Oh, that I had the wings like a dove. I would fly away and be at rest. Yes, I would wander far away. I would lodge in the wilderness, Selah. I would hurry to find a shelter from the raging wind and tempest. Destroy, O Lord, divide their tongues, for I see violence and strife in the city. Day and night they go around it on its walls, and iniquity and trouble are within it. Ruin is in its midst, oppression and fraud do not depart from its marketplace." Let's skip down to verse 16. He continues, "But I call to God, and the Lord will save me. Evening and morning and at noon I utter my complaint and moan, and he hears my voice. He redeems my soul in safety from the battle that I wage, for many are arrayed against me. God will give ear and humble them. He who is enthroned from of old, Selah, because they do not change, and they do not fear God." Just skipping down to verse 22, he says, "Cast your burden on the Lord, and he will sustain you. He will never permit the righteous to be moved. But you, O God, will cast them down into the pit of destruction. Men of blood and treachery shall not live out half their days, but I will trust in you." And when you read these Psalms, I think to read them properly, you have to try to understand what David is saying. I mean, how many times has there been a prayer that you've had, a feeling that you've had that has just been, so many things are not going right, so many things are challenging. My heart is in anguish within me. The terrors of death have fallen upon me. And the response would just be what David says here: "Oh, that I could just get away. Oh, that I could just have wings of a dove and I could just fly away and be at rest. That I could just go, wander away, get in the wilderness." I know that these have been things that have come through my brain. God, what it would be so great, Lord, if you would just let me leave. If you would just let me be away. And so many times things add to our lives. We have so many things compounding. David here specifically is talking about somebody that was very dear to him turning on him and challenging him and attacking him and being mean to him and everything else. And a physical person, possibly. We don't know the exact situation that was going on. Maybe it's yourself. Maybe you are the one that is turning on you to add all of these burdens and these challenges and these concerns and these battles, and you're beating yourself up, you're challenging yourself, you're never able to escape, and you're just saying, God, I just want to escape. Maybe it is someone dear and near to you that is adding and constantly putting things on you that don't need to be put on you, and attacking you in ways that don't need to be attacked. And maybe that's the situation. Again, that's what we see David here dealing with. And your prayer, your desire is just to be, I just want to go away. God, can you just take this burden away? I'm uttering to you. I'm complaining to you. I feel like I've done this day in and day out, and I just feel like this is the way that it's going to be, and I want it to change. And we see David saying this, but the greatest thing that I see about David, and when we see these psalms and we see these prayers, is I love that he doesn't leave us like that. That is where most of us end. That is where the majority of our lives go, is that we have the complaint, we have the problem, we have the concern, we have the fear, we have the possible solution, and we just stop. We say, God, this is bothering me, this is hurting me, this is challenging me, I've been complaining about this, I've been telling you about this has been something that I've dealt with for a long time, and maybe you're even talking to, you feel like you've said this to somebody, I've dealt with this, I've felt with this, I've wrestled with this, and why am I keep bringing it up? And really, our complaints against other people are usually complaints against God. And so we say, God, you're not dealing with this in the way, you're not making this person do the thing that I want you to do. This is what I think is great when he's talking about it. He's praying that God changes the people. He's not praying that necessarily God changes him. And so he's saying, I've been praying that you change these people. I've been praying that you make them do something different. And it's not happening. God, if you would just let me leave. If you would just let me get away, if you would just let me escape from all of this. And again, that's where I think a lot of us end. We have our complaint, we have our proposed solution, and we just keep going back and forth, from complaining to what we think should be done, from complaining to what we think should be done. But I love the Psalms that they don't do that. And they don't show us that that's the correct way of doing it, because it's not. What we see here is that David says, but I call to God, and the Lord will save me. Evening and morning and at noon, I complain, I moan, I groan, I cry, I weep, whatever you want to put in there, and he hears my voice. There's a fact. It's not the initial complaint of why am I going to keep doing this. It's not the initial thing of that these things are bad and you need to fix them. It's, you know what? I know you hear me. I may not feel it because I keep complaining. I may not feel it because I keep crying. I may not feel it because I keep moaning, but I know you hear me. I know there is an understanding that you hear me. You redeem my soul in safety from the battles that I wage. I like this concept. It's not the battles God's waging. It's the battles that David is waging. David realizes that he's putting himself in battles, and then he's crying to God to fix him, to fix the situations. And he knows God will, even though it's his battles. And I just like that concept. But he says, God will give ear and humble them who is enthroned from of old. Cast your burden on the Lord, and he will sustain you. He will never permit the righteous to be moved. And this is a challenge to me in this situation. I say, if you are righteous, you will not be moved. If you are moved, if you act inappropriately, if you do things incorrectly, when trials come and when temptations come and when burdens come, then you are not being righteous. The righteous will not be moved. There's a firmness. There is a tree planted, roots growing down deep, that when the waves come, the winds come, that it doesn't waver. It stands tall. And I know that's a goal for all of us, or it should be a goal for all of us. And I have never met someone that has reached that on every level. But that should be our goal. That should be our aim, is that we get to be the righteous person that is not moved. And we do that by casting our burdens on Him. We do that by knowing He hears our voice. We do that, we become righteous, we become firmly planted by knowing that He will rescue us if we just keep doing what He is asking us to do. That we can yell at Him, we can mourn with Him, we can talk to Him, we can discuss with Him, we can grumble and complain to Him, while knowing He is going to fix it. It is the major difference from what you see. And my readings this year is going back and forth between what the Israelites are doing right now, right, in the Old Testament. It's their story of how they came out and they become the nation of God. But it's balancing this with the Psalms. The Psalms don't come till later, and I know that. But it's interesting that a righteous person complains and groans and moans, but knows that God will sustain. The Israelites groaned and moaned and complained and threw a fit, never understanding and never believing that God was actually going to help them. And that was the problem. The problem is not the groaning and complaining. The problem is not the expectation of I'm upset and I'm frustrated. It is the difference of saying that I know God is going to sustain me. The Israelites didn't think that. Can we just go back? Can we just go back to the way we were? You're just going to kill us. You're just going to be like this. And you never see the psalmist saying that. You see the psalmist go, no, this is really bad and this is hard and I'm struggling and I'm tired and I'm weak and I'm in pain and I'm scared and but God, I know you're there and I know you're going to save me. Help me see it. Help me be understanding of it when I'm not feeling it. Help me know that you hear me when I don't think you do. When the Israelites came back and they were going into the garden or going into the land there, they were like, man, I don't know. There's a lot of people and there's really big things. I don't think we can beat it. And Joshua and oh man, I'm forgetting his name right now, but there's two of them, right? Joshua and one of the others says, no, we can do this. We can beat them. Yeah, they're strong. They acknowledge, yeah, this is going to be scary. Yeah, this is going to be tough, but we have God. And so they say we can do them. The other ones say, no, we can't. And that's the difference. That's the difference in looking at situations, complaining, moaning, groaning, throwing a fit, being in a somber mood, all this other stuff, and all of these challenges, and not seeing the way out. There's that. And then there's, yeah, you're going to have days and things are going to be hard and things are going to be challenging and things aren't going to work right and it's going to be hard and you're going to cry and you're going to moan and you're going to complain. You're going to do all this stuff. But at the end of the day, you also know that God is going to restore you, that God is going to recover you. God is going to help you. He is going to save you. And we can fake knowing that while just being this complaining person. But when we truly know that, when we actually understand, our complaints they do come out different. We act different because we're righteous and we're not being moved. And so I would challenge you this morning that if there is something wrong, one, know that God hears you. That trust in that. Understand that. And know that God is there to help. And if you don't, know that. I'd like to invite you to understand that when you do complain, when you cry out to God, He hears you. And sometimes there's situations that He needs us to go through, but He'll give us the grace. He'll give us the means. He'll give us what we need to get through it. Sometimes He might tell us, get up and move. This is not somewhere I need you. This is not something you're supposed to be dealing with. And so, whatever the situation is, know that you can go to God. He will answer you. And if you don't think that he is, just sit there. Just wait. Right? That's the test. It's where the tires meet the road. Because if you cry out to God and you don't hear him, you don't see anything, and you go take off in another direction, then you never trusted that he was there. But if you cry out to God in the midst of your struggle, in the midst of your pain, and you say, God, I know you're there, so I'm not leaving until you come. I'm knocking on the door. I know you're home, and I'm not going to stop knocking because I know eventually you are going to answer the door. I know eventually you are going to push me out of this. I know eventually you are going to do this. And I don't know the timing. I don't know the things, but I know that you've put me here, and I'm going to keep knocking because I know you're there, and I know that you will come when I knock. But when I don't have faith, I leave. And it's a good test. When I run, that means I didn't think God was there. Because if God was there, why would I run? God didn't tell me to run. He didn't give me a spirit of fear. And so we need to see that. We need to be understanding of that man, sometimes we just need to sit. Yeah, it hurts. Yeah, it's painful. So, I mean, I get it. I'm not overlooking it. I'm not minimizing it. But I'm saying, okay, let's acknowledge it. It's painful. God's there. He knows the pain. He's been through more pain than we were. He's been through more pain than we'll ever go through. So he gets it. And he's telling us, I know, it's hard right now, but it's okay. So I challenge you, trust, rest in him. If you find yourselves in situations, the last thing I'm saying, I'm going to say hi. If you find yourselves in situations where you just feel like you're struggling, read Psalms. Right? Read them. There's a lot of them, but read them. They can be your prayers. They can be your things. And here's the coolest thing is the struggle you're having, you're going to find in Psalm. You're going to find one of the Psalms that speak out to you. That's why I think that Scripture says there's no temptation that comes across, there's no situation that comes across. You're not going to find the answer in Scripture. Read through Psalm. Find the one that matches what you're thinking and what you're feeling, because it is there. And then see what the psalmist says. Because we believe this word is true, right? So when we find the complaint that agrees with ours, when we see their solution, it is also our solution. It's an interesting way of thinking about it, but it's an accurate way of thinking about it. I love you guys. Let me say hi to everybody. Christy, good morning to you. Happy Friday. It is a very happy Friday. Laura Compton, good morning. I hope she noticed that I said something about Donnie. She's the one that complained. I wasn't going to throw her under the bus, but I thought about it just now and I just did it. So she complained because I said that he was a member of Backstreet Boys and he was not. Christy would have complained if I had said he was a member of the NSYNC, but I didn't. So Renee, good morning to you. James, good morning. Judy Marsh, good morning to you. Happy Friday. So glad everybody's here. Anna, good morning. And she's saying Timothy says hi. Hi, Timothy. I hope that you are being good. You're probably not. You're probably terrorizing your mom, chasing her around with dragons. If you're not, I mean, go ahead. That's what kids are supposed to do. So, take your dragon and chase her around. We got a couple new ones. I guess it's not a dragon, it's a dinosaur, but he's got a dragon. He's got a dragon that breathes fire. Unless you guys Bethany, it's not fire, but yeah, I'm going out in the shop. There's probably stuff I need to be doing in here. I'm just going out to the shop. I'm gonna build some stuff today. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going out there. I hope I come back. I'm just kidding. That's my lodge, my wilderness, right? My wilderness is the shop. So I can go out there and build and just let God speak to me while I'm working. So yeah, I'm excited to be able to do it. I love you guys, and I'll see you on Sunday, hopefully, if you're able to be here. If not, I'll see you Monday morning. Talk to you later. Bye.